the Art Sanctuary. Welcome to the award night of TAGMPE, our signature photography exposition. I am Shalini Gupta, inviting you very, very dearly on behalf of my other founder trustees to this night of fun and laughter. The Art Sanctuary is a social venture through which we provide platforms to showcase the talents, artistic talents of young adults with intellectual challenges. We provide these exclusive platforms through our art expositions, which carry artwork in terms of drawings, paintings, photography, filmmaking, music, and dance. But this year, we introduce our signature photography workshops where we realize that photography is a democratic language and one where if our young adults were given some skills, they could compete with the neurotypical students of similar age groups. So hence we introduced this workshop where we trained both these groups of individuals to take portraits, people portraits, animal portraits, nature portraits. Just go on and see the entire gamut of entries we received, almost 400 entries from across the world. Students under 26 years of age with a valid student ID and neurotypical young adults 16 years and above. We were very, very lucky to have Samar Jodha, the well-known photographer who I don't need to introduce anymore to you, in conversation with Reena Nag, a very dear human being who has, on a pro bono basis, decided to facilitate these conversations with Samar. Samar will be announcing the results in just a short while. Before that, why don't I invite Mary Barua, the founder of Action for Autism, a venture which has brought the tag of autism into common lingo. Mary, I have known her for over 20 years in my professional capacity before I became a parent. And Mary's organization has been very, very kind and supported the Art Sanctuary partnered with us in bringing this exposition out to reach all of you. The conclusion of the ceremony will be provided by Nupur, who will give a vote of thanks for this event. So without much ado, why do I not welcome you to the award night, a night full of color, of photography of the highest order. Bye-bye for now. Mary, welcome.
Hello everyone. It's fabulous to have all of you here at the Anurag Gupta Memorial Photography Exposition. Like many others, I had been a quiet admirer of Anurag's work behind the lens. But in addition, at Action for Autism, we were privileged to have Anurag and his wife Nupur as supporters of our work. I've also known Shalini from her days at Ashoka and admire immensely the superb platform, the Art Sanctuary, that she has built up. So when Shalini had called to discuss a possible collaboration of Action for Autism with the Art Sanctuary for this exposition, we were pleased and excited to be a part of it. And what made it particularly appealing to us is that this is a truly inclusive exposition. We encouraged all our young neurodivergent photographers to submit their work, especially since some of them want to pursue photography as a career. And photography can indeed be a very valid career option for many, because photographers can have the liberty of working in their own time and in their own space, something that appeals to many of our neurodivergent folks. We hope that this exposition helps them and their families see the possibility of this amazing medium. To those who submitted your works, wish you all the very best. And congratulations in advance to the winners that the exceptional Samar Jodha will shortly announce. But remember, those who don't win a prize are also winners, because you are all winning in life, and that is what is most important. Thank you all for participating. Thank you, Samar, for lending your expertise. And most importantly, thank you, Shalini, for putting your time and energy and your passion into making the Anurag Gupta Memorial Photography Exposition the success that it is. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Reena Nag. and I've had the absolute pleasure of following the Art Sanctuary since 2018. Yes, even before it was registered. Therefore, it is with immense pleasure that I introduce Mr. Samar Jodha to you today. Mr. Samar Jodha is a renowned photographer and an installation artist across Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. He is a judge for the National Geographic Cover Shot and a TED speaker. Mr. Samar Jodha is deeply, deeply invested in our youth, a group he believes has the power to lead and to bring about social change. Mr. Samar Jodha is the founder of the Red Balloon, based on a collaborative ecosystem that creates large-scale mobilization and change. Welcome, Mr. Jodha, and thank you so much for taking the time with us today. My first question to you, Mr. Jodha, is what is portraiture photography?
So talking about what is a portrait? Portrait is, in today's popular culture, portrait has become more like a selfie, which reflects on our what we want to project. It's very glossy and it's all soft filter, and we want to all look like movie stars or like rock stars. So that's how a lot of portraits have I would say, ended up in. But on a much serious note, I think portraiture is really about how do you see a person, and it's not limited to just the face. It can be the environment the person is living in. It can be it can be abstract too. It doesn't need to be very obvious. And I think the most important part about portrait is that you don't want to give away everything in a very straight shot. You want to basically create layers where me as a viewer, I would like to know more about that person, what that person does, profession, how that person lives, how that person interacts. These are things which is what you try to create. So there are two kind of portraits. You have your very straightforward, which is, let's say, a tight shot. And then you have what we call as an environmental portrait, which is to do with the space. It's like, what you see around me. It reflects very differently than, let's say, if I blocked all this and it's just me and you're just reading me. But the minute you see the space I'm sitting in, or let's say Mango is sleeping here, this is like little doggy here. It reflects on the person's interest. It reflects in terms of the likes and what person wants to be seen with. So this is how I look at portrait.
Thank you. That was so well explained. I've learned so much already. My second question is, what is creativity in your mind? And do you think we need a special skill set to be creative?
To me, creativity, I don't think anybody needs to qualify to be creative, because I think we all are creative in our own ways. It's not about that you have to have the ability to take a picture or be a painter or a sculptor. Everything is creative. How you cook, what you want to eat, how you arrange your living room, how you fold your your clothes. These are all things which are all very much about creativity. And the best part is that everybody is different creatively. It's not mathematics where you have one logical answer. We all have different approaches, different ways of how we look at things, how we engage with things, how we create those things, and they are ordinary things. So I always say to a lot of young students that don't put pressure on that, oh, I'm not creative, or I have, I'm not very good at drawing or whatever. But creative can reflect in many ways. maybe the way you love cooking, that is creative. So don't pressurize yourself. Which brings me to, what is a good photograph? Since, what we are talking here about portraiture, we are talking about, the competition. You will see the winners in this competition. Some of them have done a very beautiful thought behind their picture, and it's not just a straightforward portrait. And I think that's creative. I think most important part is that don't put pressure on yourself, because the minute you do that, what you do is you end up killing that creativity. So it's important to let it flow.
In your opinion, why do you think it's so important to have forums like the Art Sanctuary?
I think it's important to have set up like the Art Sanctuary, because they engage with children, with young adults in so many different ways, and creative exercises like photography, which has been very core of a lot of workshops. I think it's important to bring children with with special way of how they look at the world. It's a great platform, because I just feel that everybody needs to have that space. It's not always about your conventional photo forums, competitions, workshops. I think Art Century has some great track record of how they have engaged with so many professional photographers, including myself, where we have conducted all these very, I would say, very engaging workshops with young adults and children. And each time they come back, and we worked on architecture, we worked on portrait, like let's say this time there is landscape stuff like that. Each time there's as I keep saying, that there's a lot of freshness to the work, and I think Art Sanctuary really creates that beautiful platform for all of us to see and to be shared.
So thank you, Mr. Jodha. This conversation has been very, very insightful. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Okay, let's announce the winners now. In category A, the top 3 winners. So let's start with number 3, Kushgar Gaur. I must talk about this image. I think when people say portrait, it doesn't mean that you have to show your face. And it's a very good example. It gives you that person's taste. As I was saying earlier, it talks about, the person's personal style. And that is what I would call is a portrait also. Second prize goes to Gayatri Gupta. Now here again, conventionally you would look at a picture and say, oh, there's glass there, it's not clear. But, this is very beautiful example of reflecting, the person in the picture. And I don't mean just a reflection on the glass, but, overall it's like you're looking at, it's a landscape of sky up there, and, the buildings on the other end. And so it's a very dreamy kind of picture, which I really like. So that's the second prize. And number 1 is Bharat Kumar. What you see here, what I call is an environmental portrait, where you have captured somebody in that space. She is somebody who rides that cycle. The background itself looks really beautiful. The texture. So I think it's a great combination of lots of elements. And yes, black and white helps, but I won't say that because of black and white this picture wins. I think it wins because the way the combination of the person the background, and obviously the way the person has been placed against. And it's a very relaxed thing. If you look at her feet, her legs, she's so laid back, and yet she's standing very firm on the ground. So that is the top prize. In category B, we have 3 winners. So let's start with number 3, Pinkesh Bhati. It's a beautiful portrait. Of course, it's black and white, but I really love the way it has been. It's a very staged imagery where you have made that person really pose for you. But because that background kind of goes really well with the way this gentleman has got his hand up, so it kind of creates a very much more beautiful story there. You wonder what's going on. Is it some religious thing, or is it a shrine? So I really like that. So that's the third prize. Then comes Suvajit Mukherjee, who's our second prize winner. My biggest thing about this image is that it just generates and spreads such beautiful happiness, man with nature, and that love between two children. I think that just says it all. You don't really need. And I love the way the background is, the smile, the happiness, the joys. It's a really celebratory image, and that takes away the second prize. And number 1, the first prize is Ajay KTV. What I like about this, it's got great abstractness to it. There is so much going on in that shadow about the person, and the way the light is falling and sweeping through, where it's almost like a washout on the face, but the shadow there creates a completely different picture of the same person. And to me, that it's a very stunning portrait. So congratulations to all the winners, and I was really, really happy to see the kind of images each of you generated. It was very tough to actually pull out the top 3 in each category, but congratulations again. Enjoy.
A very warm namaste to everyone. Let me start by thanking the Art Sanctuary and our very dear friend Shalini Saran Gupta for initiating this once more. Action for Autism for partnering with us. You were genuinely close to Anurag's heart. Samar Jodha for graciously judging the competition, and to all the enthusiastic participants who have sent such wonderful photographs from across the world. Photography is an art of teleporting the past into the future. It is said that we revert back to things that are truly dear to us. Anurag and photography have always been synonymous with each other. He lived a glorious life with his camera and will come back one day to fetch it again. Till then, we celebrate him with a photograph well taken. Thank you for this endeavor once more.